Lavoz. Yeah, I guess Lavo would be in French.
in French.
Wow.
Okay.
Lavoz in Spanish. We love our
You're
keys.
multilingual.
Multilingual, bilingual, yep. Je parle un petit peu de français. Yo hablo español. I speak English, and we're working on Italian. Parle italiano.
Oh, could hit the different markets with your music.
Yeah, well, that's the whole spiel for this whole thing here in Canada. Trying to get that Spanish sound
Yeah.
being recognized in Canada, and that's what they always push back with, right? Because they say it's a different language. It's not English or French. But it's mainstream music now, so it's got to be pushed. It's got to be pushed.
Okay. So how do you handle the obstacles doing the genre that you do? Tell the people what music that you put out.
So yeah, I've been in the music game for like 10 years, 15 years I've been singing, but 10 years in the game when reggaeton was like street music. So I've rapped, I've done Latin urban, I've done reggaeton, I've done the pop. I loved English, and to be honest with you, I love doing rock, but
Mm.
um, the music that I'm doing now is basically it's Latin music, but it's done in the traditional method where, I'm composing everything, I'm using live instruments, I'm using musicians. And so, I think it doesn't really have a genre per se, but it is Latin music, it's something new, and I think that's what makes it so exciting that it's this new sort of sound feel coming out of Canada to the world, and we want the Canadian market music industry to support this. So it's Latin music, something modern, and not urban though. It's more musical.
Yeah. So how do you represent for the Latinos?
Oh, you know what? I've done so much here in Canada. I think I've touched every stage, and every time that a big artist comes into Toronto, I've had the honor to open up for them, right? So it's basically like, opening up the city to them. And from there, I've also done a lot of events that I've done, voluntary work. I work closely with my people. It's just it's been a struggle a little bit because the Latin community doesn't really mesh as well as other communities in the sense that there's so many countries in Latin America, right?
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of people who came to this country, they kind of stuck to their people, and then maybe that didn't work out. So that sense of unity doesn't uphold. But through my music, I know I can unite people, and we got to be a force to reckon with. The obstacles that I faced obviously are getting the recognition of the music industry, the Canadian music industry, to say, hey, you know what, this is Canadian. Just because it's Spanish doesn't, everything's produced here, and it's time for them to recognize, acknowledge this movement.
So what could listeners expect when they hear your music?
Oh, definitely. I want to bring back that danceable thing. I mean, that's what people love about Latin music. It's something that you dance to, right? You got rhythm, you got flow, you got feeling. So expect to have a bit of emotions, indulge deep. There's 13 tracks on my latest album, so they're all different flavors, sabor. Expect to feel music again. I mean, I think that's why a lot of, like, for me, Latin music basically is mimicking the urban scene, right? They're basically just putting the lyrics in Spanish, but I don't feel that much musicality as Latinos are known for. So they can expect a taste of old schoolness, but brought into modern times.
Speaking of modern times and old school, who would you consider your top artist for the genre?
Top, see that's and again, once you give this album a listen, you're gonna have to. The only thing that you can really compare it to is maybe a Mark Anthony, but mostly I want to bring, or maybe like an old school Enrique, maybe Ricky Martin, maybe when the you remember in the '90s Latin music had that push where that's where your J Lo came from, everyone
Yeah,
came.
yeah.
It does have something like that, and I'm going against the current. Instead of doing that Latino trap or Latino drill or reggaeton, who sold out, I'm doing something that's more authentic and more genuine to the Latin sound. So I don't know. You have to. It's something new. Something new. My flow's still urban. I can't get that off. Right. Something new. You have to
Mhm.
go out there and check it out. So yeah.
Okay, so what's some singles people could listen to off your album?
So everyone can go to my Spotify. It's BenAnthony Lavoz, and you can, the whole. For me, all my songs are like my babies. They're all beautiful in their own way. But we're going to be pushing Can Can #1 first as our first single. I think we're going to be going off to LA soon with that. It's KANCAN, and it's based off the derivative Can Can, which is an old song from France. It's a beautiful song. Wrote it here, composed it with the help of Carlito, which is my songwriter, my brother, my pride and joy.
Yeah.
And Can Can, you got to go and check it out. #4 on the album.
Okay. So are there any music videos out that people could check?
Music video, I'm going to be releasing one on later this month for the first song, second song on the album. It's called EO, means why not me? Why
Yeah.
not me? It's different translation, but it's going to come out. I kept it a little urbanish, urbanesque.
Yeah.
Uh, the video, when I say the visuals, just because I want to pay homage to my past, and then from there, I'm thinking mostly the videos are going to be shot in other parts of the world. I like that the Caribbean feel. I like to be in the palm trees.
Yeah.
The people give you that vibe and that energy. Sometimes things get a little mechanic or boring up here in the north in Canada. It's just all business oriented. You want to get that
Yeah.
authentic flavor.
Okay. So what would be some of your dream collaborations?
Dream collaborations right now. I'm not really looking for any. I mean, most of the people that I love and adore, they're all dead, right? They're all from the past.
Um,
I love people who can play live with their band, right? Like
yeah.
those times where that was like you were listening to somebody perform, and those stories were theirs, right? I love that. I'm in adoration, and sometimes I'm there. I'm trying to get into the music and everything, but it just doesn't sound like they're telling their own story. And when I'm in the writing process and the creative process, I don't listen to much music that's out there. Once in a while, I'll listen to what's charting top just to
Yeah.
kind of see what's out there. But I don't want to get influenced, and I don't want to get stuck in that. I guess I was born in the wrong time. I should have been born in the '70s, but here I am, giving you guys the best I can.
Okay. So I seen that you had a connection to the Grammys. Could you tell us about that situation?
Yeah, I was able to tour with the Grammys. I toured with the Latin Grammys. I
Yeah.
was all throughout America. It was amazing. I got a lot of proposals. However, being Canadian, it gets a little fussy, but
Yeah.
I, I'm heavily involved with them. And every year I go out to Cayocho. I'm always invited to the Latin Grammys, working on the nomination, but I'm putting all my forces here in Canada because we don't even have a Latin category. You see the Grammys and you have like English Grammys and you have Bad Bunny winning. He's a Spanish
Yeah.
artist. Then you have a whole other Grammys, which is Latin Grammys, and then you have all these other Premio Nuestro, all these other things, Cayocho, in United States, which is just south of the border. Now you come here, Canada and Norte, and you look at Junos, which is our pride and joy, right? That's the best of the best, and there's not even a Latin category. So
That's crazy.
I can't be going crazy here, and it's time for them
Yeah.
to back it up. They gotta back it up. And they're gonna
Yeah.
say, oh, but if we bring in Spanish music, then we gotta bring in the K-pop, the Indian bangras, or all these
Yeah.
different things. But the thing is that music, if you go to the grocery store, ain't playing. You're gonna hear your Shakiras, you're gonna hear J Balvin, you're gonna hear Bad Bunny, you're gonna hear all
Yeah.
these Latin artists. So why not have the country go behind one of their very own, which is me. That's why I'm staying here, and then from there I'll be continuing my journey with the Latin Grammys.
That's true because I know for hip hop and even like the Caribbean sounds like reggae, calypso, it was very hard for the Junos to even categorize it.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I seen when Drake had an issue with the award show too because he's
Mm.
the top artist in the world and even he has issues with how they nominate and everything, which is
Yeah.
crazy.
It's a huge issue, and you know what? These artists are dropping like flies. Thankfully, I have traction, and I'm financially okay, and I've been able to live off my music. But it must be so hard for these artists. They have no outlet. They're gonna do music
Yeah.
Latino or whatever. This literally right as of now, nothing to look forward to, and I'm planning on changing that.
Okay. So what do you think is missing in the industry that maybe anyone watching could help changed the trajectory of how things are right now.
So, I mean, let's be frank. I mean, I've seen a lot. I'm independent and I pride myself on that.
Yeah,
Uh, a part of that, part of me learning to pride myself on that is I learned here in Canada, there's no major record labels here. There's sister companies, and that basically, if they like you, they'll, take you to the UK or the States, and that's where the action is. So,
yeah,
that's a good and a bad thing. And it's a good thing because the people you're working with here, I can look at them in their eyes, in their face, and I'm like, yo, we're in the same struggle together. There basically is there's no pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, right? So we're all hustling here, but we gotta all figure out a way to make money, right? How you're gonna make money, how I'm gonna make money, we're gonna make this a business. There's no one to be scared of, there's nobody to impress. You just gotta make a good product and hustle it, hustle it, hustle it, hustle it, hustle it, hustle it. And take your music on tour, get people with you who are involved in the project because it's their passion. They want to get music, bumping again. Here in Canada, it's just I think it's always been behind, but now more than ever after the pandemic, basically everything's restructuring. It's a perfect time to try and stand up for what you believe. You need to, you want to vision Canada in the next 5, 10 years or however long your career is going to be. I know that it's going to be one of those things where I'm like 60 years old, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, this guy hustled so hard when he was young, and
yeah,
I can barely speak," and then that's how I see it. There's no gratification or reward I'm looking for right now. I know in the long run it's gonna work, but I'm just hustling. I'm hustling, hustling.
yeah. Do what you
Yeah,
can do, man.
yeah.
So, are there any live shows coming up that people could check you out on?
You can actually check me out. I'm gonna be going to New York. I got a award show over there. I just came back from San Francisco on the carnivals, but Innisfil is having this festival. It's a huge festival in Innisfil. It's on June 25th. You can come catch me. It's gonna be an hour set. It's gonna be amazing. And other than that, I'll be doing Mississauga Land Festival. I'll be all around Toronto, all the festivals, all the Latin stuff I've got. So, and then from there, I'm gonna be going off to LA. But for now, I would just like the people of Innisfil to be prepared because they're going to be hearing something that I don't know if they, get much of up there. So it's near Barrie. It's the city
Yeah.
of Barrie.
So, is there any lasting words that you want the viewers to know?
I just want the viewers to know that you have a dream, you have a vision, and you gotta fight tooth and nail there, and even give more blood and sweat. And even though it seems impossible at times, keep going, keep going. At the end of the day, there ain't nobody that's gonna come save you, especially in a environment that they don't even understand. You could be
Yeah,
talking, you could be doing things on deaf ears, but do not lose vision. It's possible, especially when you see the whole world, you know. Everything is happening. Your vision is happening everywhere else in the world, except for here. You stay your vision. It's gonna happen. People too often drop off, or do things for the wrong reason. But if you're righteous and you do things for the right reason, then everything's Gucci. And just
yeah,
remember, mi gente, it's time to have some Spanish music here in Canada. Things are getting too serious, especially politically, and the world seems a little down. It's time for a little rumba.
yes, yes. Especially with things looking dire in Russia.
I know. So,
Yeah,
you
World
know,
War III. Need that uplifting music.
exactly. So let's start
Yeah,
to smile again. We're out of the pandemic. Yeah.
yeah, true.